Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to our FB Live training for the day. It is so much better for me to do these things in the afternoon. Cassandra Von Worsley here with you. So we are talking in Fire Your Inner Critic, Find Your Inner Badass, and finally build your business. We're talking today about your inner critic, but another part inside of you that is adored by your inner critic, namely your inner people pleaser. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can always join our private Facebook community at facebook.com/groups/Fire Your Inner Critic. Let's get real with our inner people pleasers. How often do you love the idea, hey Lara, hey girl, love what you're putting out there? How often do you love when somebody gives you a compliment? Like love it. Where you feel like somebody says, you are the best at this. I'm so proud of you. I can't believe you're doing this. We all love compliments. I don't know anybody who deep down in their core, even if they don't admit it to themselves, loves to be affirmed, validated, seen, known, embraced for who they are. We all love it. Now, the problem with our inner critic is that our inner critic really loves to tap the help of our inner people pleaser. Now, what's the difference between appreciating when you're being appreciated and your inner people pleaser? Big difference. Appreciation that we embrace, that we enjoy, is appreciation that we desire but we do not require. Hey, Andy. How's it going, Andy? It's been a long time. Our inner people pleaser is driven by the need for validation and affirmation that's external to us. That's the difference. So we all desire appreciation and approval. We all desire and crave to be seen, known, and heard. That's a human need. Certainty, significance. But when we move from the I desire this to I require this to feel like I'm enough, that's when the inner people pleaser kicks in. And that, my friends, is when the inner critic joins with the inner people pleaser. And let me tell you why the inner critic loves the inner people pleaser. It's really very simple. Your inner critic loves when you live under the false belief that you need someone else's validation to shine. Inner critic loves it. It loves when your inner people pleaser starts to bend over backwards and do things so people will like them, or not do things so people won't be mad at them, or do things so that people can approve of you and validate you. Your inner people pleaser is the hamster on the wheel that is always chasing the validation and approval of other people. And you know what? Here's the crazy thing about our inner people pleaser. It operates, hey Tina, you broke that block. I love that you're an NLP practitioner. Okay, let me not digress, but I love that you're a practitioner now. Awesome. So our inner people pleaser, and I'm sure Tina could educate us on this, our inner people pleaser is that part of us that grew up understanding that in order for us to feel loved, in order for us to feel accepted, we had to do certain things to win that approval. We had to say the right things. We had to go to the right schools. We had to cater to other people's needs. We had to be selfless. So your inner people pleaser is still wanting to chase after external validation because it does not feel whole without it. And so the inner critic loves when you go into inner people pleaser mode, because guess what? Then the inner critic says, see, you can't operate on your own. You can't build a business on your own. If people aren't clapping for you in the crowds, you don't have the stamina to do this on your own. Here's the true question. How do you respond when your inner people pleaser shows up? Because here's the thing, it shows up subtly. You might say yes to something, and then your sibling or your spouse or somebody else kind of snowballs you into 5 other yeses that inside of you you're so resistant to, and before long you've said yes to 10 things when you originally only said yes to 1, and boom, your inner people pleaser is in charge. Now your inner critic is going, see, you said you wanted to build this business, but look, you're doing this for your sister and that for your brother and that for your cousin and that for your friend. You don't really want to start a business. So the inner critic loves your inner people pleaser because your inner people pleaser lives for the validation of other people. Your inner people pleaser doesn't exist without people clapping in the stands or saying, you got this. It cannot exist on its own. And the inner critic loves to show you all of the times when you tried to build a business and you needed other people's validation, affirmation, or support to do so. So how do you break that connection between your inner people pleaser and your inner critic? Number one, awareness. You've got to notice when your inner people pleaser takes over. In other words, when you start saying yes to things that deep down you really want to say no to, when you start doing things because you want other people to notice, when you start behaving in ways that are not congruent with what you really want in your business and what you're really doing, when you start to feel guilty for doing stuff in your business and you don't know where the guilt is coming from or why you feel guilty about it, your inner people pleaser is kicking in, which also means your inner critic is backing your inner people pleaser up. So what do you do once you figure out that you've gone into inner people pleaser mode? A, you stop saying yes. First of all, first thing you got to do, the inner people pleaser drives off of yes. You stop saying yes immediately. Any requests that come in, anybody who asks you, the answer is either no or not right now, or come back to me in a week, or come back to me in a month. You stop saying yes. 2, you take a moment to step back and evaluate, am I doing this because I feel the intention to do it, or am I doing it because I am obligated to doing it? Is this a I get to do it, or is this I gotta do it? That will usually also signal you as to whether the inner people pleaser is coming in charge or is taking the center stage role. Third thing you got to do is go back to your priorities in your business. What is my must in my business? And make the rule that until the must gets done, nobody else gets what they need. That's it. You set your hours for the day of what you're going to do in your business. Here's my must. You get your one must in for the day. Then you go, well, am I going to say yes to that? Am I going to say yes to this? Otherwise, your inner critic is going to remind you the next time you get to business that you promised yourself you would do that yesterday. You let your inner people pleaser take over, and instead of doing the thing you needed to do most, you did the thing that would get you the most approval, appraisal, affirmation, and validation. And guess what? Now you're in a mode where you don't feel whole without it. And the inner critic loves to remind you when you're in that mode. So, awareness of when you're in inner people pleaser mode. Do not say yes to anything when you get the awareness that you're in it. Take a step back and say, is this a gotta do or a get to do? And then go back to your one thing in your business, your must. What is the one thing today that you got to get done before anybody else gets a yes? And then accomplish that thing and reevaluate. That's the way you break up that relationship between your inner critic and your inner people pleaser. All right, everybody, I will see you on tomorrow's training. Join us on facebook.com/groups/fire your inner critic. I'll see you tomorrow.